Hi, everybody. Welcome to this first live session of the Mindful Eating class with the Health Education and Training Center of Gainesville. I'm really excited to be here and happy to have everyone with me, and very grateful that you joined me today. So I just want to talk a little bit about H.E.A.T. It's a nonprofit 501c3 organization for minorities in Gainesville, Florida, with the mission of improving the quality of health in the Gainesville community through health education and health promotion. And the vision is to value educating our community through helping each other grow while accomplishing our goals as a team, and that's reflected in our values as well. And so down at the bottom there is the website for H.E.A.T, and probably most people have discovered that by now, but if not, I definitely encourage everybody to check it out. There's all kinds of great classes that H.E.A.T is offering, including meditation and yoga, so definitely encourage people to see the resources that are on there. So this is the just a piece of the team here at H.E.A.T. Up at the top is Bree, our fearless leader. She's the founder and executive director of H.E.A.T, who has really steered us to this point where we were able to launch this month. So very grateful to have her on the call with us today too. Manash is our director of wellness. She does a lot of great stuff with data. So there will be a survey that goes out after the class to get some feedback and hear how people felt about the session today, so that we can make sure that all of our offerings are really serving the community in the way that we want them to. Then our new director of marketing, who I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, but I'm excited to, is Jennifer. And then there's me down at the bottom. I'm happy to answer any questions that people have about my background, but I think the most important thing that I want people to know about me is that I really consider myself not so much an expert as a facilitator and a fellow learner that's working on growing alongside all of you. So I'm really happy to be here. You can also find me in person here in Gainesville at 3 farmers markets a week. I am currently the person running the EBT booths there. So if you have a SNAP card, EBT card, and you want to spend your benefits at a farmer's market, you can come see me in the EBT tent. I'll give you some tokens that you can use with the farmers. And then we also have a incentive matching program where we'll give you the same amount that you take off your card in tokens that you can use to buy fruits, vegetables, and food producing plants too. So I'm happy to answer, any questions people have about that. I'll, be sure to let you know how you can get in touch with me. But I'm at the 441 market on Saturday mornings, the Celebration Point market on Wednesday evenings, and the Grove Street market at Cypress and Grove Brewing, right across from Bread of the Mighty Food Bank and Working Food. So with that, I'm really interested, throughout this whole process to hear what everyone's goals are, what you're hoping to accomplish from the class, so I can make sure that I'm, finding information, resources that I can share with you all to make sure that this is really fulfilling and what you're here for. So there's just a couple of my goals: to participate in a fun food-focused online community, explore where food comes from in the Gainesville area. So we'll be talking to some farmers in this class, identify and share local food resources, learn and share some kitchen and home gardening tips and tricks. So you might have seen the August pre-recorded videos that have come out. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And then just practice building a positive relationship with food. And, even in the short time that I've been practicing mindful eating, it's already made a huge difference in the way that I relate to and experience food. So I'm excited to share what I learned with the rest of you. So does anybody have anything you'd like to share about what you're hoping to take from, being involved in this online community? No pressure too. There will also be more opportunity for people to jump in and discuss a little bit more later in the session. Awesome. So we can, if you're attending the session, if you want, feel free to unmute yourself anytime, jump in, tell us about yourself. feel free. And then let's see. If Bree, would you be able to just monitor the chat in case there are any questions or anything?
Yeah, sure. I'm
Oh,
here.
great. Fantastic. So yes, so here are our August videos for this month. They're already up on the NamaStream site. So if you go in, you can reach it by going to the H.E.A.T website, and then go to classes and courses, scroll down to the nutritional health section, and this is going to take us to where the class is basically hosted on the NamaStream site. So there's a short guided meditation in our introduction video, and then there's some recipes for a few things that you could do with watermelon, and then also growing some microgreens at home. So definitely, you know, feel free to check that out if those seem interesting, and there will be more for next month as well. So what is mindful eating? I want to be upfront about what it's not, first of all. So it's not a diet. It's not a set of rules that you have to follow or a list of foods that you can't eat. It's not a lose weight quick kind of scheme, but what it is so much more. It's really a way of being in the world and relating to yourself and your body that's rooted in Buddhist philosophy. So I'm really indebted to many, many people who've been cultivating and stewarding these ideas and principles across centuries to, create resources that are, accessible to us today to talk about. So this is just a few things from the Center for Mindful Eating website. It's really about allowing yourself to become aware of the positive and nurturing opportunities that are available through food selection and preparation by respecting your own inner wisdom. So learning to listen to your body and listening to yourself, and really learning to trust that your body knows what it needs and will let you know. It's about using all your senses and choosing to eat food that's both satisfying and nourishing to your body. I personally think food that's good for you should be delicious, and it should give you pleasure, and it should be a wonderful part of your day. And then acknowledging responses to food without judgment. So it's not, that we're telling ourselves we can't like something, we can't eat something. It's really about just being aware, and then being aware of physical hunger and satiety cues to guide decisions to begin and end eating. So with that, I want to turn the floor over to today's collaborator, Cristiane Machado, who is the founder of YogaLoka, an organization that provides free yoga and meditation services to historically marginalized populations here in the Gainesville area and elsewhere in the world too. So I'll let her tell you a little bit more about that, and then she's going to lead us in a guided meditation. So thank you so much for joining. I'm really happy that you're here.
Oh, thank you so much, Miranda. It is such a beautiful opportunity to connect and to see the beautiful work that you guys are doing, because it is about mindfulness, it is about awareness, and what we eat it's what we are bringing into our vessel, right, into our bodies. And I love the part that you said it has to be pleasurable, and of course nutritious, because that's important, but it's really about the senses and the pleasure, and that brings in like mindfulness, right? What is really mindfulness and awareness and enlightenment, since we are talking about yoga and all that. And it can be very easy to get daunted by the word enlightenment, right? Sounds like someone that sits in the cave all day long and all they do is eat prana energy and don't ever relate to life. But actually it's not that at all. It's more about the way I see it, the way it makes sense to me is it's paying attention with curiosity, right? So I love what you said about knowing your body and trusting your instincts and noticing your senses, being in touch with our senses, because eating is much more than just putting some food in the mouth and swallowing, right? We actually start creating juices from our stomach that will digest food through our eyes. Like when we see what we're gonna eat, we already start that digestive process. So creating the awareness of that and cultivating the awareness, it's easier than harder. it's just really paying attention with curiosity and feeling, right? Our bodies have this wonderful magical capacity to feel when we are hungry, when we are satiated, and when we might be eating for other reasons. Sometimes we eat because we feel a void inside of us, a void that can be from our past, from old traumas, from emotional attachments and situations in our lives. So that mindfulness will support us in and feeding our bodies for the purpose of thriving, right? Instead of filling up this void with food, which happens. It's a natural response when we are upset or feeling less than. But it's also really cool when we start connecting the dots and realize, like, wait, am I really hungry or I am upset because of something, right? And it is okay. There is no judgment or criticism. And when we talk about awareness and mindfulness, it's not to criticize our bodies or our craves and our, when we want to eat, but more to become understanding of how these are connected, right? The eating with satiating, this need of energy, need of nutrients that will help with thriving life, or is it more of the emotional feeling of lack at times? So one of my practices with that is finding gratitude, right, for food, for the food that we're gonna eat. So one of the things that I do to cultivate more awareness is when I have food in front of me, I take a breath, right? I look at it, I start my salivating, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna eat this wonderful food. And for me particularly, I love colorful food. So I always try to put a lot of food, like kind of make somewhat art with my food, because that's gonna feed my body, right? And also I like to actually send a good vibration to my food. So one thing that I do when I receive my food and I'm about to eat, I say, may this food feed my body so my soul can soar, right? Grow and expand and 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 fly, really. So food becomes that beautiful fuel for our existence. And so not only we survive, which is awesome, but then we can thrive, right? And really knowing where you're sourcing your food from, and who is like making your food, because food is energy also. And when we are preparing our food, or when somebody's preparing the food for us, ultimately we will have a good energy, right, to work with that food, because after all, it's going to come into our bodies. But yes, and it is more than natural and okay that once in a while we just, like, eat whatever our desires take us. But also it's a great way to become aware also of what we feel, right? Sometimes we feel things less than nutritious, and then we feel it, either our heads or headaches and stomach aches. So it's just a way to gauge, what am I eating? Is it like for my betterment, for my growth and expansion, or am I sometimes self-sabotaging, right? And becoming aware, again, is not any way in to judge or to criticize. It's just really to make the changes and adjustments with awareness, right? Because we can only change that we become aware of. So that's my take on mindful eating. And it's so important, this work that you guys are doing, especially with with the minorities, especially with the marginalized populations, which is what the YogaLoka serve too. It's really that attempt to bring more and more awareness and mindfulness on everything that we do. And that's why yoga and meditation do. It creates this opportunity for us to see ourselves from a different perspective, right? Is that opportunity to go within ourselves and really learn our craves and learn our wants and our needs in a way that we can become more optimal providers for those needs and wants. So I want to guide us into a meditation, and a lot of people tell me like, oh my God, I cannot meditate because I'm too energetic, I'm too hyper, I'm too of this, I'm too of that. And I love it because that was me a few years ago, when I always had this curiosity and a want to practice a little bit more of mindfulness, but there was always that inner voice of mine that would say like, who are you kidding, girl? You cannot meditate. You're too hyper. You got too much energy. You all over the place, so you can't meditate. And for years I believed on that because that's what I heard somewhere, that if you have too much energy, you can meditate. But actually, that's why I wanted to meditate, is so I could use that energy that I have and start making that work for me and not against me. Because I don't know about you, but when we have a lot of energy, at times it can be detrimental to our health, right? So meditation, and there are hundreds of schools of thought on meditation. There is transcendental meditation, there is guided meditation, there is silent meditation. It's a lot. So I started with a meditation that was the whole stop your thinking. And that did not work out for me at all, because if there is one thing that I do is think, and actually thinking shows that I exist, right? I think, therefore I exist. So I was very debatable on that. So it did not work out until I met a teacher that actually, his teachings were all about listening to the thinking, paying attention to the thinking. And that was a game changer. That totally shifted everything about meditation for me, and it became like this staple in my life. Like, I do it nowadays. It's very, very adamant for me. It's just, it became a habit. I wake up, I use the restroom, and then I come right back to bed and I meditate in my bed. But that's the thing that I do right after bathroom. I now do it for 20 minutes, sometimes more, sometimes less, but it's a daily practice. It took me a few years, and it doesn't matter how long does it take, right? What really matters is your openness and your willingness to be curious about yourself. And again, our thoughts are coming at the light speed, right? Influx on top of influx. The Buddhists call it the monkey mind, because it's all over the place, which is natural. That's how it is. That's what our mind does. Our minds try to make sense of things. But with that, what happens a lot, especially living in a very fast-paced society, we tend to not even breathe, right? We are not even aware of breath. It just happens. It's autonomic. It's there. We don't ever have to think about it. But with that, also, we become very stressful. Our lives are already stressful. We work too much. We always running. Time is money. All that concept that has not been serving us very much. Time is value. It's very important, but it's not money, right? So we are constantly on the go, go, go. So we don't breathe. We're constantly on a right. So your body sees that as threat. So that makes the state of your mind to be in a sympathetic state, which is the fight or flight. So your cortisol levels are constantly like high. So you're constantly in state of fear, as if there was a lion trying to attack you all the time. And yes, that's the life that we live, but it doesn't have to be like that. Just by breathing, we can self-regulate our cortisol levels. And I find that to be like mind blown to the max. It's like, what? Just my breath can do that? Yes. What does it take is awareness. So the meditation that I learned that really worked for me was this focus on the breath and how I was breathing and taking deeper breaths and paying attention to all the qualities of the breath. And as we do that, we also help to regulate the state of our mind. We go into a parasympathetic state, which is the rest and digest, where we really want to live. We want to live on that space. And then if anything happens that is a threat, we kick into our parasympathetic and we are ready to run. But we want to carry ourselves in that parasympathetic state of mind. So, with no further ado, I invite you to find comfort, whatever that means for you. If you choose to be seated, you can be on the floor. Maybe you find a pillow to lift your sits bones, to lift your spine. You can be on a chair. You can be on your bed. You can be anywhere where you feel like I am comfortable. If I were to stay here for a little bit, I could do it. Knowing that it's natural that your body might get uncomfortable, and then you can always move, but trying to really find a position to start where if you were to be here for a long time, you wouldn't have to move too fast. And then your hands will be restful on your knees or on your lap, right? Palms facing up, because we are here to receive, right? To receive a guidance. So the palms facing up is a sign of receptivity. Then the next thing, if it is comfortable, is closing your eyes. By closing your eyes, it's almost like you create this little inner virtual space. But for some of us, closing the eyes is not comfortable, and that's okay. We want to feel comfortable and safe, right? So if closing your eyes, like I'm not going to close my eyes, that's fine. Find a point in front of you that is not moving very much so you can focus. You can be on the ground as well. And then you take a little check in with yourself. Like, okay, I feel my body. I feel my sits bones. My sits bones are being supported by the seat, either by your mat or your pillow or chair. And you notice on top of your sits bones will be your spine. I like to create visuals. Maybe you imagine that your spine is a stack of pearls, one on top of the other. And right on top of your pearls comes your head. That is nice and supported very restfully on top of your spine. Your shoulders are relaxed. You're going to check in with your face, with your jaws. Notice if you can soften anything on your face. Maybe you have the space between your eyebrows all crunched up. Maybe you can smooth it out. You can lift the corners of your mouth and just like smile. After all, here you are showing up for yourself. And that is very, very cool. And from here, we're going to take a moment to pay attention to our breath. And it's funny, as soon as I say pay attention to your breath, you probably shifted the breath. So try not to control your breath yet. Just notice. And then from that place of curiosity, we're gonna start connecting a little deeper with the breath. We're gonna inhale through the nose or the mouth and fill up your belly, bring it to your diaphragm and your chest. Minding the gap between the inhalation and the exhalation. And then you're gonna exhale either through the nose or the mouth, out the way to the bottom of your spine. And maybe you squeeze slightly your navel into your back to squeeze all the air out. Notice that little gap between the exhalation and the next inhalation. And inhale. And exhale. And you're gonna find your own rhythm for your breath, trying to mind the gap at the top and at the bottom of your breath. You're gonna focus on the quality of the air coming into your body, maybe the temperature, maybe the volume of air. And noticing if at any moment your mind starts to wander, which is natural. Remember that that's what your mind do. So try not to judge or criticize. You notice the thought, and then bring it back to your breath. If it is a thought that keeps on truly distracting you, take a moment to acknowledge and make a mental note that you can go back to that same thought later. But that right now, you are taking deep, full inhales and exhales. You're inhaling from the bottom of your spine all the way through your collarbones. And you're allowing that breath to go out. And as you get to the bottom of it, you do a little gentle squeeze of your navel into your spine to squeeze all the air out. You're breathing in fresh, new oxygen. And you are exhaling carbon dioxide, the byproduct of that oxygen that you just brought into your body. And that breath can also be seen metaphorically. You can be breathing in abundance, love, compassion. And you can be breathing out anything that is no longer serving you. You can be breathing in newness, openness, courage, and exhaling any feeling of lack, of not being enough. Keep your breath going. And if at any time you get caught up into your mind, that's okay. Don't judge, don't criticize. Just get back to your breath. You can even start a little silent count of your breath. You can breathe for 1, 2, 3, 4. mind the gap. And then exhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Noticing the space until your next inhalation. And go into your own rhythm, into your own count. Focusing on your breath as you allow the distractions of what is happening outside to be what they are, just distractions. If your eyelids are heavy and closed, perhaps you pay attention to what is happening inside of your eyelids as you breathe. Noticing how the breath coming in inflates your torso, expands your ribs, creates a space. And how on the exhale, you get rid of all of that has been already used. It's the same for food and all that we bring inside of our bodies. There's that comes in, that gets used, and then there's that we let go because it's no longer serving. We absorb all the nutrients contained in the oxygen and also the food and the drinks for later get rid of. This is a beautiful reminder that our bodies are highly intelligent. And it's usually our own selves that get in the way of this optimal and intelligent body. From cultivating your breath and your awareness of this now. As you breathe, maybe you connect with the sense of smell. Maybe there is some essence that comes in through your nose. Your breath is full. Maybe you're still keeping your counts. And you can notice also your sense of hearing. Noticing sounds really far. Maybe the farthest sound that you can hear. And then the closest sound that you notice. Maybe even your heartbeat inside of your chest. Or the sound of the breath coming in and out. Maybe you bring your awareness to your mouth. Any taste that you might observe in your mouth. And maybe you notice also what's going on inside of your eyelids, or what is going on in front of you, in front of your eyeballs. And we touch base with our sense of feeling, of sensations on our skin. Maybe you can even notice the hairs on your arms, on your forearms. Paying attention to this now, to your presence, to your breath. We're gonna take a few more really deep inhales, maybe going to the highest, to the top of your lungs, taking full advantage of your beautiful lungs, really inflating your torso. And then exhaling, squeezing all the stale stagnancy that might be in you out. Growing tall through your spine on your inhales. And exhale. Maybe on your next inhale, you breathe the largest breath that you have taken since we started. And then you let a sigh out of your mouth. We're gonna take two more like that. And one more big inhale. And exhale, release. The next inhale, nice and slow. You can allow your eyelids to lift, opening your eyes, slow. And if your eyes were already open, you can let them be open. And take a moment to look around at your room and notice any sensation, anything that might feel different from when you started the meditation to this now. And I like to close my practices with a mudra. Mudra are hand gestures. And this one is called Namaste or Namaskar. Anjali Mudra is the name of the mudra. And the gesture is the Namaste, Namaskar. That is used in India to salute. Right? Actually, when they see a friend or they are in front of someone, they always bow. It's just a way to recognize, right, one another. It's a way of seeing one another. It's not anything religious or related to any religion in particular. It's just really a bowing, right, an acknowledgement of one another. And so I bow to you, to your greatness, to my greatness, and I see you, and it is an honor to share this practice with you. And this is some of the work that we bring to with the YogaLoka project to marginalized populations, to populations that are considered at risk minorities. We are present in jail, in prison, in halfway homes. We work with Peaceful Path. We also work with families. We work with the veterans. And we are in Gainesville. We are in St. Pete, Florida. We are in Miami. We are also in the north of France. And it's really a beautiful work, because a lot of times our fellow human beings, they are considered marginals, really. The society puts to the side. All that they really need sometimes is someone that sees them, right? And a lot of times this is the work that we do. We sit with them and we take breaths, right? Just to show to them that they are seen. And it creates also that beautiful opportunity for us to empathize, right? Because no one really knows if we were in certain situations, if we were not compelled to act exactly how some of these folks do act, right? So that's our work of heart, and it is such a beautiful thing to collaborate with other projects that are about humanity. They are all about to bring humans to recognize other humans. And I really want to commend Bree and the guys at H.E.A.T that do this very special work. And mindfulness is not anything complicated. It's really paying attention and valuing that we have, that is truly divine, right? Working with the sense of divinity, in the sense that we are all very special. We all have something very unique to offer. And by connecting with this heart of ours through the practice of meditation and mindfulness, we can really access a more authentic way of being and connecting with one another. So thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, if there is anything that you would like to ask, please don't shy away. Ask any questions. And thank you so much, girls, for the opportunity to be here. It has been really nice. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We look forward to all the lovely work you guys do at YogaLoka. It's such a blessing. So nice and unique. So thank you so much for coming out to do that guided meditation.
Thank you so much. Thank you for practicing, and thank you for being present, girl, and doing what you do. I know, coming from the perspective of wanting to be of service, it's not the easiest of jobs, right? But it's a really, really important work. So I really appreciate you. And I think we had Liz. Liz was here, our executive director at the YogaLoka. Thank you for coming, girl. You're so awesome. She does beautiful work, and yeah, it's a beautiful collective. So very nice.
Yes, thank you, Liz. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm here at my family's house. Oh, that's nice.
Do you have any closing comments, Miranda?
Closing comments? Sure. Yeah, I guess so. You know, certainly happy to have more discussion if, you know, people have other things to talk about. I guess what I'd love for people to know about next month is that there will be a few more pre-recorded videos. So some recipes on stuffed mushroom caps. So they're going to be stuffed with like wilted greens and then stuffed sweet potatoes with some different toppings that you can try, which is kind of fun to practice mindful eating with, just to, you know, kind of explore what you like and don't like, and try to pick out all the different flavors and really you know, sense your food fully. And then I've got one of my favorite recipes, especially for like potlucks and stuff, is ABC, apple beet carrot salad, that I learned while working with elementary school kids in schools. And you know, it's great to make with kids, but adults love it too. So it's become one of my go-tos. And then finally, of course, we have to have, you know, the sweet stuff. I love sweet stuff. So this month it's carrot cupcakes with whipped cream frosting from scratch and some ice cream. So yeah, I hope you enjoy those. And then our live session is going to, I'm really excited that there is going to be a new farmers market coming to Gainesville. It's going to be near Depot Park at the Heartwood Soundstage. And so the farmer who's really kind of pulling everything together, Noah Shitama, is going to be joining us to talk about that next month as well. So I hope to see some people in that class as well, you know, to, you know, ask any questions and talk more about mindful eating. So yeah, that's really all I have. You know, I know we still have a little bit of time for more discussion, but I just want to say thank you so much again, Christiane, for joining, and thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you.
being here.
Yeah, so this class is hosted every last Friday of the month. It's hosted live, and then all of our following classes for this class are always pre-recorded, so they're up and running. So you guys can always flip back and see the last month or the previous class that was taught for mindful eating. And we have a lot of people that will be coming in and talking about their local produce that their farmers grow, and how to actually purchase those products. So how to purchase your food from a local farmer in Gainesville. That's what this mindful eating course hones in on. So I'm very excited. It's a really great course. Miranda does a really awesome job on her videos.
So beautiful.
So it is going to be so much fun to do these courses live, and to get our farmers more involved in the minority population as well.
That's really awesome. I love what you guys are doing. And if anyone that is watching this video want more information about the YogaLoka project, our website is YogaLoka with a K .org. And we love these collaborations, because that's we are a big collective, and why not do things together and raise the vibration of everything that we do, so we can all benefit. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so we can all be part of the solution of our humanity instead of its demise, right? It's